by a drop of rain around here lately. Partly cloudy. We're back in the upper 80s for our Thursday afternoon. We'll stay a little warmer in the overnight, dropping back into the mid-60s. Upper 80s for Friday. Wouldn't even shock me as some of our areas hit 90 before the weekend. That's your forecast. From the WSIC Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Discover your next great experience at Kane Center for the Arts, where art and community come alive. From stunning gallery exhibits to captivating live performances, we're here to inspire, connect, and celebrate the arts. Visit kanearts.org.
She's hot, and not in a fun way. You're both sweating, and nobody's happy. Cool off fast with Varsity's own HVAC. Fast service, cold air, pure relief. Serving Mooresville and the entire Lake Norman area because summer shouldn't feel like a punishment. Visit varsityzone.com.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
All right. Good morning, Lake Norman community. I am here for About Town, where your host is normally Cornelius Mayor Woody Washam. He's asked me to fill in. I'm Robert Carney, one of your Cornelius Town Commissioners, and I have got the great Mayor Rusty Knox. Let's say for all those Davidson residents, I've got your mayor here in house today, and I think it's always a good thing. Mayor Knox and I do a great deal of communicating together and keeping each other informed, but it's always wonderful to have a good friend and somebody I think so highly of on the show. So I'm blessed to have you here today. Thank you so much and welcome.
Thanks, Robbie. I'm it's my honor to be here, and I love the relationship we have. We are bound by baseball, which is important to both of us.
That's
so,
right.
I don't know that the conversation doesn't digress into the Major League Baseball season and everything else surrounding that before we're over with. So.
Yeah, I'd say we can certainly go there. The Red Sox won last night for me, which I'm very excited about. So that's, as I say, we can always, and for those of you that don't know, my family, while I'm from Hickory, North Carolina originally. My family is all from Manchester, New Hampshire. So my grandmother, indoctrinated me into a Red Sox lore. So I've always been a diehard Red Sox fan. So
I get it.
So Mayor Knox, help us out here. What's new and what's shaking as a Cornelius resident? You guys are our next door neighbor, and what happens to you happens to us. So we're always keenly interested in knowing what's shaking in Davidson these days.
Well, I tell you that's what it's about, is being neighbors. It's been so refreshing for me. I mean, my first house out of college was on Catawba Avenue in Cornelius. And Mayor Washam's grandmother lived next door to me.
Is that right? Okay.
Miss Eva Washam. The house that I own still stands right across from the library. It's a spa now.
Oh, okay.
Right beside the School of Rock. That was my very first real estate purchase when I was 20 years old.
How about that? Okay.
But being neighbors and having a relationship that we do is so important, because you're exactly right. What happens in Cornelius affects Davidson. Mm-hmm. What happens in Davidson affects Cornelius. And I think we together have been very sensitive in working together on a lot of issues that prove contentious in other communities, but we're able to work through most of those amicably, and Woody and I still butt heads on a couple things, as we should.
Sure, absolutely.
But I will thank you personally for the relationship that you and the other commissioners in Cornelius have gleaned and developed with the commissioners in Davidson. I think that open channel of dialogue, I don't think residents of both of our communities, and I'll include Huntersville in this as well, I think a lot of residents don't realize how much interaction we as elected officials have with each other. Of course, the mayors with MTC and things like that, but the roles that you guys play in boards that you serve on throughout the community that shuffle our commissioners together, plus just the general dialogue that you guys have with each other offline. That's just so important.
Sure. No, thank you. And I couldn't agree more. So one of the things that I've always thought, is been such an exceptional job by the town of Davidson, and starts, obviously with the college as well, is that Davidson has always, if you ask a resident, whether somebody it's in the Charlotte region, Davidson really does have a vision. It's one of those things where if you say the town of Davidson, somebody has an identity that immediately comes out in their mind. And I think Cornelius, I think Huntersville, I think of the entire Lake Norman region, I think we're all trying to adopt or develop that so that we collectively as a Lake Norman community, because the same thing is true. Whenever you think of Lake Norman, there is an identity that comes through. And I think because of that, we are blessed in so many incredible ways, but those blessings come with some pain too. And I think we've all been really trying to go arm in arm and say, all right, how do we ensure that the next 20 years, this community is truly as vibrant as it is today, and doing it to where we don't make short-sighted decisions. We're not, we're really kind of focused on how do we balance ourselves long term. At least that's what we've been really trying to focus on from a Cornelius standpoint. And that's where I've been banging the drum around economic development and balancing the scales of who we are for the future of tomorrow and things like that. But I feel like you guys have done a pretty good job. I mean, if there's one definition of know thyself, I feel like Davidson has definitely got that.
Well, and we are successful because of those that came before us, and the vision that those that serve now and hopefully those that serve in the future have for what Davidson's all about. I mean, I'm sitting in the chair I'm sitting in as mayor because of a development project that would have changed the scope of what downtown Davidson looked like. Mm-hmm. And I did not want that to happen. For me, Main Street in Davidson is hallowed ground. The Main Street that I enjoy today is the same Main Street my father enjoyed when he was a child growing up there. And it's also the same Main Street that my grandchildren enjoy right now. And so for that, yes, we've grown. We were 1,500 people plus the students when I was 12 years old.
Right.
And we're 15,000 plus now. But back then, Cornelius was about 800 people.
That's right.
And Huntersville was
right.
about 500. So a lot has changed in 50 years. Yep. Well, actually over 50 years now. I just had a birthday. So, but we still, even with 70-some thousand people in Huntersville and 30-some thousand people in Cornelius and 15,000 in Davidson, we still have this foundational governance of community and small town and quality of life and caring for and listening to our citizenry. And I think all of our elected officials in our communities emulate that posture. They hear you when you talk and they listen. We don't necessarily agree all the time with the way things turn out, but I think by design, I am sitting in a chair of success because of those people that had the vision to craft Davidson and grow Davidson intentionally to be what it is, and it's just a small college town. Mm-hmm. And we all reap the benefits of having the college here too. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And actually, before you and I, so walking in today, thinking about, all right, I'm going to get to hang out with the mayor. What are we going to talk about? And, I'm just kind of walking through this. And one of the first things that I think about is Davidson as an economic engine. And it's not a traditional one that an economic developer would normally think of. But if you look at the roots of what is an economic engine, what it is it's something that's driving and generating revenue from outside of your market into your market, right? And that's exactly what Davidson does by a student body that are all paying tuition. That tuition's going to students, faculty, staff, security, all the people that make it work. And all of that money is then channeled into the community of Davidson. That's a wonderful thing. It's not a common thing. You don't see that, everywhere, but Davidson has really struck that wonderful balance and has leveraged that as an engine. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that is a unique factor that differentiates us a lot of times from other communities too.
Well, we'll dig into some more of that here in just a second.
Absolutely.
Connecting you to Cornelius. Stories, projects, and voices. Don't go away. More About Town next, only on WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, remember I said it's still technically summer. You're feeling that over the next couple of days. Still no rain for a while. hardly by a drop of rain around here lately. Partly cloudy. We're back in the upper 80s for our Thursday afternoon. We'll stay a little warmer in the overnight, dropping back into the mid-60s. Upper 80s for Friday. Wouldn't even shock me as some of our areas hit 90 before the weekend. That's your forecast. From the WSIC Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. The 500 Club in Statesville kicks the weekend off early on Thursday, September 18th with the Thirsty Thursdays tournament. Then get ready for the Club Championship on Saturday and Sunday. Click on the 500 Club online for more information on entertainment, golf lessons, club memberships, and tee times. Bin 110 in Cornelius presents live music Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. Ryan Winters takes the stage on Thursday the 18th. Chasing Phoenix performs on Friday. Saturday features Hey Ladies. Whiskeys, wines, cocktails, small bites, and live music are all waiting for you at Bin 110 in Cornelius. The Downtown Statesville Art Crawl happens Saturday beginning at 2 p.m. The crawl showcases artists in different shops, restaurants, and businesses scattered throughout the heart of downtown. It is self-guided, so you can begin the walk from any location. Meet the artists, browse, shop, and enjoy food, drinks, and live music Saturday at the Art Crawl in downtown Statesville. The NHRA 4-Wide Carolina Nationals happens at ZMAX Dragway Friday through Sunday. Every ticket is a pit pass, giving fans unmatched access to the drivers and crews who powered the NHRA's thunderous 11,000 horsepower machines to their limits. Click on charlottemotorspeedway.com for tickets and information about the NHRA 4-Wide Carolina Nationals at the Bellagio of drag strips. Stay up to date and find out about local events, job opportunities, real estate information, and more. Visit liveworkplaylkn.com and sign up for the weekly newsletter. That's liveworkplaylkn.com.
Bin 110, upscale and elegant, but never pretentious. Over 500 whiskeys, 100 wines, craft cocktails, and crave-worthy small bites. Live music plus monthly comedy nights and tastings. Post your next event at Bin 110, located at 19712 1 Norman Boulevard in Cornelius.
Cornelius News, Heritage, and Community. We're back with About Town, hosted by Mayor Woody Washam. Only on WSIC. Local starts here.
I am guest host Robert Carney, Commissioner for the town of Cornelius, and I'm joined by Mayor Rusty Knox of Davidson. So, Rusty, we were talking about Davidson and the economic engine that the university is as a non-traditional, but it's certainly impactful and creates that's where Cornelius is trying to go. And what I mean by that is we're focused, or at least what I've been strongly advocating for is we have to have more engines that generate revenue for Cornelius, and not so many items that actually, I don't want to say steal or take revenue. It's called a non-basic development entity, which is if you have a grocery store is a perfect example. A grocery store is not generating revenue from outside of the market. All of that revenue already exists within the market. And I believe for Cornelius to be a very well-balanced community long-term, we have to have more basic revenue generators, which are entities that are bringing revenue in from all over the country, all over the world, and then bringing that into the market through payroll, through property tax, through all these different things. That's how you build and stabilize a market, in my opinion, like Cornelius. So hats off for the way in which you guys have just really kind of embraced the identity of Davidson, the university as this engine. I want to talk about where are we right now for relative to the election season. I know it's that
time of the year.
It's that time. So give me a little layout. And honestly, the other thing that we could touch on too, we were talking a little bit about this on the break, is we both had referendums, right? And ours was whether or not to move to a 4-year term, and yours also was to move to a 4-year term. Right. You guys supported it, and the citizens of Cornelius actually, voted against that. Right. So maybe you can touch on some of that too. Your thoughts.
Well, and election season for me is interesting because I'm running for my 5th term now, and 4 of those 5 terms I've run unopposed. So either I'm doing a really good job or nobody's dumb enough to try to spend 45 hours a week at town hall for $12,000 a year. One of the two, I'm not sure. But
I believe it's the former.
I love this job. It's the best job I've ever had. I've told people that publicly, and I'll say it right now. I'm at town hall 40 plus hours a week, not counting my meetings. This week I was at county commission meeting till 10 o'clock Tuesday night. Then last night I had MTC. I'm vice chair of MTC, so we had about an hour and a half meeting last night. So that it's continual. But the seeds have been planted, and the campaign signs are starting to pop up throughout our communities. And we besides myself running unopposed, I have 6 folks that are running for 5 seats on the board. And initially, we were looking at this dynamic of the 4-year term, and we were going to say, well, two people will run for 4-year terms, and then the rest will run for 2-year terms. And logistically, that didn't work. So what will end up happening is the top 2 vote getters will be 4-year terms.
Yep.
The lower 3 will be 2-year terms, and then in 2 years, those 2-year terms will be running for 4-year terms. And so it'll always be a stagger. So there's never going to be a wash. When I came in 2017, you had a new mayor, myself, and 4 of the 5 commissioners were new. So, talk about building a plane as you're flying it. That's kind of what we were up against. And, honestly, that's not a good model. If you want to look at local governance, because that's where the sausage is made at the local level. And if you do a wholesale change, it's hard because you got to start over with strategic plans and things like that. And the educational curve it's not difficult, but it's not easy either to learn what protocol is, what government's about, and to get your heels dug in and realize why the speed of government is so slow. With you guys in Cornelius and Huntersville and Mooresville too. I'll talk about Mooresville as well, since your brother's the mayor up there. It's not discord, but you have more people with more ideas because you've got a larger populace, and you end up with more candidates in the till running. And I for one am in a great place in the relationships I have with my 3 neighboring towns. I mean, the elected officials that I love working with your brother. Honestly, I love working with Mayor Clark and Mayor Washington. I have had a long-standing relationship, but there's other people running too. And again, it's so important for people to educate themselves. It's so important for you to look at the issues. We have a major issue on the ballot this fall with the 1 cent sales tax for transportation. And I want people to educate themselves. I want them to know what this is about. I want them to know that, when you look at the 40% of this initiative that comes back to the communities for roads, in the first year, our 3 communities will realize almost $20 million for local road projects.
That's right. Yep,
that's the key thing. We are not supplanting the failures of DOT right now and the shortcomings of them financially. We're doing local road projects. We are doing roundabouts. We're doing pedestrian safety. We're doing bike lanes and side paths and sidewalks, everything but greenways. And that's so important for quality of life for our residents, because more people, I had an appointment this morning early in Denver. So I breezed through Cornelius on Catawba Avenue at about 7:15. And I was astounded at the number of cyclists and runners that were out on the sidewalks going down Catawba Avenue at that time.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Providing that for more people is part of what this transit tax is about. But, I look at it holistically. This is, for me, it's hopefully fulfilling a promise that was made 30 years ago. I look at it as probably the largest economic development driver our North Mecklenburg communities have seen since the lake was created.
Absolutely.
It's if it's done right.
If it's done right. Well said. So that's the caveat I've been giving. So a couple things. You're absolutely right. I don't think the community fully understands yet how impactful it will be to have this level of revenue between Huntersville, Cornelius, and Davidson, all kind of working in unison to address kind of the projects, because we talk about this all the time, even on the show, about, the citizens of Davidson drive through Cornelius, drive through Huntersville, and vice versa. I mean, we all share this infrastructure.
Exactly.
So for us to be able to improve the roads that we own collectively and make improvements is going to be dramatic for the community. One of the biggest things, what's the old adage, is that lies fly while truth crawls.
Yeah.
And so I would implore anybody that has the ability to do so, to do your research on the facts around what this vote is all about upcoming. The town of Cornelius actually just put it out on social media. We've been saying, hey guys, there is some misinformation. I don't think it's malicious or anything like that.
Right.
Just people get an idea in their head. And a lot of times it's just a fear-based idea. They think one thing, they get scared about it, and then they'll start really screaming about that when unfortunately it's not always grounded in fact. So we've been really imploring the town of Cornelius to get facts out so that people can make an educated decision on what they want to do.
We've done the same thing. I think you'll find that at all the Pineville, Mint Hill, Matthews, they've all got it on their websites as well as Davidson, Cornelius, and Huntersville, Mecklenburg County, and the city of Charlotte. And I think that the thing that is most bothersome for me, and I think I look at things in a different lens after serving for 8 years, particularly serving on CRTPO and MTC and advancing the plan and 77 South Corridor study and stuff like that. Charlotte has always been viewed as the big bad wolf.
Mm-hmm.
But what you've got to realize is we are successful because of Charlotte. If Charlotte fails, we all fail.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people, do your homework, read, but understand Charlotte's got $78 million invested in those railroad tracks out there. And
That's right.
They didn't just buy those to placate us to extend the blue line.
Right. That's right.
So, but I do want people to read. There is enough information out there to form your own opinion. I think I've said this, and I know you have too. We are all accessible as elected officials, and if you have any direct questions, email us or call us. I'm glad to talk with anybody about this. It's
Yep.
I'm doing a point counterpoint Monday night at Ada Jenkins.
Oh, wonderful. Okay.
With County Commissioner Susan Rodriguez McDowell.
Okay.
Who was opposed to the transit tax because of the fact that rail didn't come to Matthews, and she represents East Charlotte and Matthews. And then she voted against the MOU for creation of the Transit Authority, which I want, again, there's another thing I want people to understand is, you see this thing, and Charlotte's got 12 representatives, and the county's got 11, and the individual towns each have one, and the legislature has 3, one from the governor, one from the House, and one from the Senate. And you're saying that Charlotte's got control of the vote with that. You're saying that 12 independent people, these are not elected officials that are on this board, that those 12 people are all going to vote the same way. That's not the case. This transit authority is going to be in charge of implementing about $26 billion in finances over the next 30 years. And they are going to have to be at least knowledgeable, if not experts in their field. I mean, I've got attorneys that are applying for this thing. I've got urban planners that ride the bus every day that are applying to get on this thing. So, I mean, it's people are interested in this, and I think it's going to be a good representation of our county as a whole.
And that's probably that's behind the scenes. That's probably what our team has been weighing heavily is who fills that role for the town of Cornelius, because that role is going to be so incredibly important. So I tell you what, we're going to dig back into that and other things here in just a moment after a quick break.
Awesome.
Connecting you to Cornelius. Stories, projects, and voices. Don't go away. More About Town next, only on WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, remember I said it's still technically summer. You're feeling that over the next couple of days. Still no rain for a while. Can't hardly buy a drop of rain around here lately. Partly cloudy. We're back in the upper 80s for our Thursday afternoon. We'll stay a little warmer in the overnight, dropping back into the mid-60s. Upper 80s for Friday. Wouldn't even shock me as some of our areas hit 90 before the weekend. That's your forecast. From the WSIC Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Hi, this is Bob McIntosh with the McIntosh Law Firm in Davidson. Since 1997, we have been committed to providing our clients with competent, caring, and experienced legal services. Learn more at McIntoshLawFirm.com.
Ready to take control of your weight with real medical support? At Renew Specialty Group, we offer semaglutide, tirzepatide, and now retatrutide with complimentary consultations, personalized plans, and real results. Visit RenewHealthWellnessNC.com. Your transformation starts here.
Yeehaw for rodeo season at Harrison's, the home of work, western, and wow. Whether you compete or cheer from the stands, Harrison has the looks to help you wow the crowd. Get western classics and the latest styles from Harriet, Cinch, Rock and Roll Denim, and Wrangler. Find us in Mooresville.
Make your work easier with Eagle Rentals of Troutman and Statesville. Eagle Rentals has generators, heaters, fans, painting equipment, floor care equipment, pressure washers, lighting equipment, and lawn care equipment. Plus, Eagle Rentals has construction equipment like forklifts, bobcat loaders, backhoes, excavators, and more. Reserve online at EagleRentals.com. That's EagleRentals.com.
Need wellness support without the clinic wait? Glow IV Spa brings luxury mobile IV therapy right to your door, at home, at work, or at your next event. No wait, just wellness. Book now at glowivspa.com.
Jay White here from Central Line of Realty. At Central Line of Realty, we believe it's all about you. If you're selling a home, buying a home, or adding doors to your rental portfolio, put the team at Central Line of Realty to work for you. Go to centrallineofrealty.com and let's get started.
Welcome to a Bible Minute with Pastor Randy Mitchell from Temple Baptist Church in Statesville.
The Bible says in 1 John chapter 2, verse number 15, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him." Folks, when God talks about loving the world is not just the breaking of the Ten Commandments. The world is a system, and the worldly system is orchestrated by Satan. It feeds off of our fleshly sinful nature, and it's everything about us that wants to influence us and affect our life toward things that dishonor God. The next verse talks about the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life. These are all the things, the categories of the love of the world. But obviously, a relationship with God is a love relationship. We have to make a choice. You can love the world or you can love God, but you can't do both.
Thanks for listening to a Bible Minute with Pastor Randy Mitchell here on WSIC.
Take your life by the reins and let the horses at Willow Equine heal and empower you. Located in Mooresville, our services help with trauma, anxiety, depression, and addiction. Love life again. Visit willowequine.com today.
Hey folks, you know Randy Marion is the king of price when it comes to buying a new vehicle or a pre-owned vehicle, but how about king of price when it comes to the service department? Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville, Randy Marion Ford Lincoln in Statesville has you covered on tires, brakes, batteries, wipers, you name it. Any service you need on your vehicle, regardless of the make or model, come see Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville Service Department or Randy Marion Ford Lincoln Service Department today.
Friendly reminder, don't brake when you see the lake.
WSIC, local starts here.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Look, up in the sky, it's dinner. Uber's Uber Eats meal delivery division is investing in drone company Flytrex and will partner with it to test aerial meal delivery in pilot markets starting later this year. The size of the investment and location of the markets have not been disclosed. Uber Eats rival DoorDash has worked with Flytrex, offering limited drone delivery in the Dallas area since June. The logo controversy at Cracker Barrel has caused a major crack in its business. The restaurant's full-year sales forecast is below expectations as it deals with the fallout from the online firestorm over its new streamlined logo that removed an overalls-clad character known as Uncle Herschel. Critics accuse Cracker Barrel of erasing elements of traditional American culture. The company has gone back to the old logo. Wall Street's indexes higher in record territory, in fact. Dow and S&P gaining 0.5% each. NASDAQ up 1%. Andrew O'Day, Bloomberg Radio.
The button pushing stops here.
WSIC. Local starts here. Cornelius News, Heritage, and Community. We're back with About Town, hosted by Mayor Woody Washam. Only on WSIC. Local starts here.
All right, welcome. All right, welcome back. I'm guest host Commissioner Robert Carney, joined by Mayor of Davidson, Rusty Knox. Welcome back.
Yes, sir.
So we were talking about the sales tax referendum upcoming, and a lot of the information in and around that, and really kind of just inviting our listeners to do your research, make sure that you're really kind of going online, both the town of Davidson, town of Cornelius, I believe Huntersville, I believe all the communities across Mecklenburg County are putting out fact sheets so that you understand exactly what the implications of this are and what it would mean for the community, so that you can formulate a good opinion for yourself, and then you can vote from an informed standpoint. One of the things that the mayor and I were talking about was, of course, the economic development guy always thinks in terms of economic development. As I was saying, a project like this, even though we're talking, the sales tax revenue that it would generate would be substantial, and allowing us as a collective, the Lake Norman region, to address a lot of problems of traffic immediately. Traffic, pedestrian walkways, greenways. There's a multitude of things that we can cure. But the other thing that we're talking about is how exceptional it demands of us with regards to planning and economic development, and that's what we were talking about.
Absolutely.
I was basically saying, if you look across the country, there are areas where they've had something similar to this. They've had, whether it be light rail or commuter rail, something like that, and they thought that was just the lottery, and because they didn't look at that as an opportunity to really define your community and set in place kind of how do we want to grow.
Right.
They fell short on that, and they ended up suffering for it. And that, that's a very real thing. That's something that I feel like if I'm reelected, this is my first time running for reelection, which is a whole thing. But I do feel like if I'm lucky enough to be reelected, the timing of it is plan. And that's kind of what my gift is helping communities figure out their path, and then strategically planning for how do we get there, and then possibly having something like this, it would just kind of, it feels like the stars would align for how I'm supposed to serve in the community. But I mean, what do you feel about this?
I tell you, this is a moment in time for our communities. I mean, if you look at where Cornelius and Huntersville and Davidson were before the interstate got here, versus the point when the interstate got here, there was a dynamic shift, particularly in Cornelius and Huntersville, to move everything out by the interstate.
Mm-hmm.
And it was at the expense of the historic downtowns. And fortunately, Cornelius realized early, and then Huntersville realized that our downtown area needs to be a point of vibrance.
Mm-hmm.
So you've already started that wheel rolling down the right path in relocating town hall and your police department and antiquity.
Mm-hmm. Our whole downtown master plan.
The whole downtown master plan
all out.
is poised for this. So
Mm-hmm.
you have it's a both and. You have the interstate. You have exit 28. Whether you love exit 28 or not, it doesn't matter. It's it functions, and I'm there. It seems like once a day at least.
Right.
I call it going over the bridge, but it's a both and. You can have what you've got at the interstate and still have what you have and will have in this corridor of opportunity that we have. So this is an opportunity to get it right, and not that you haven't gotten it right, but I've seen communities across the state that didn't get it right, and they paid the price. And I think with forethought and planning, in knowing what works and what doesn't work, you're gonna find great success for small businesses, for retailers that are maybe mid-sized retailers. I mean, I don't know that you're necessarily going to court the big box people. I don't think that's the initiative that any of our towns are looking for.
Correct. Yeah.
But employment campuses and things like that, with the new hospital that Cornelius has on 21, I just see the opportunities for healthcare initiatives with imaging centers and professional offices and doctors' offices that are going to move from Charlotte up here with their practices, and their patients and their employees are going to have ready access to get to those facilities if this transit tax passes. And we, I keep jumping on the whole red line thing, but you got to understand that there's more to this 1 cent sales tax than just rail.
That's right.
The enhanced bus service and the thing that I'm most proud of right now for our residents supporting it is the microtransit thing that
absolutely
we got the pilot in North Mecklenburg, and literally in the first 2 weeks we had exceeded what we expected to get in the first 4 to 6 weeks in ridership. And there's going to be 19 more zones for this throughout the county if the 1 cent sales tax passes. And this is where folks that are at home and had to find a way to get to a bus stop to get on public transit can potentially get a ride all the way to their destination, or can get that connection first mile, last mile to get to a bus stop or a train stop or something like that. So it's huge,
Yeah, you said the word opportunity, and that's exactly what it is. It's an incredible opportunity that as a collective we have to get it right. And
right.
and so often when you were saying that, other communities don't get it right. I've had the blessing of, my trade is economic development, so I study communities for a living.
Right.
And the communities that didn't get it right, it was a very simple thing. They got caught up on the details that never mattered.
Right.
Instead of focusing on the details that really do. And so that's what I think we, or at least I can speak for myself on this, is I've been imploring the community, from our staff to my fellow electeds, to focus on the things that really matter whenever it comes to this. Because you can get caught up in the minutia of it, and then all of a sudden the opportunity does come, and now it's been squandered. It didn't work out the way that you wanted.
Right.
It doesn't look the way that you want. It doesn't benefit the community the way that you want for it to. So all those things are very real factors whenever you have something like this that comes. And then, regarding Atrium and its location, that's been what I've been beating the drum to, is basically saying Charlotte is a blessing. The airport is a blessing. We have too many people that get in their car every day and they drive to Charlotte. They drive to other places outside of our community. I want more people actually working in the community. And how you do that is if you look at, and I think Davidson falls in the same category. From an economic development data standpoint, we are a blessing. Whenever you look at the skill and talent base that we have that lives in our market. Yeah. And so it makes it really, really easy to talk to, small regional headquarters or different companies all over the globe and say, we have the workforce that you're looking for. It's already here in our market. They're just driving to Charlotte each day. Why don't we give them an option to where they don't have to drive to Charlotte, where they don't have to get on the interstate? They're actually going to Davidson. They're going to Cornelius. They're living and they're working and they're shopping all day in our market. That's how you really start to stabilize and do some really neat and unique things.
Well, I think we're probably very similar to Cornelius and Huntersville in a lot of aspects with we have an ebb and flow. And these numbers are a little old, but we've roughly got 4,000 people that leave Davidson to work elsewhere every day, and about 4,000 people that come into Davidson to work from somewhere else. We only have about 700 or 800 people that live in Davidson and work in Davidson.
Okay.
And most of those people, besides home-based stuff, are either working at the college or they're working in one of our 300-plus small businesses in town, and that's it. So having the opportunity for people to work where they live is so important.
It's incredible.
But if they do have to go to Charlotte, to have access without sitting in that parking lot at 77 will be great, too.
All right. I say we're going to take a quick break. Thank you guys so much.
Connecting you to Cornelius. Stories, projects, and voices. Don't go away. More About Town next, only on WSIC. Local starts here.
Well, remember I said it's still technically summer. You're feeling that over the next couple of days. Still no rain for a while. Can't hardly by a drop of rain around here lately. Partly cloudy. We're back in the upper 80s for our Thursday afternoon. We'll stay a little warmer in the overnight, dropping back into the mid-60s. Upper 80s for Friday. Wouldn't even shock me as some of our areas hit 90 before the weekend. That's your forecast. From the WSIC Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. The 500 Club in Statesville kicks the weekend off early on Thursday, September 18th with the Thirsty Thursdays tournament. Then get ready for the Club Championship on Saturday and Sunday. Click on the 500 Club online for more information on entertainment, golf lessons, club memberships, and tee times. Bin 110 in Cornelius presents live music Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights. Ryan Winters takes the stage on Thursday the 18th. Chasing Phoenix performs on Friday. Saturday features Hey Ladies. Whiskeys, wines, cocktails, small bites, and live music are all waiting for you at Bin 110 in Cornelius. The Downtown Statesville Art Crawl happens Saturday beginning at 2 p.m. The crawl showcases artists in different shops, restaurants, and businesses scattered throughout the heart of downtown. It is self-guided, so you can begin the walk from any location. Meet the artists, browse, shop, and enjoy food, drinks, and live music Saturday at the Art Crawl in downtown Statesville. The NHRA 4-Wide Carolina Nationals happens at ZMAX Dragway Friday through Sunday. Every ticket is a pit pass, giving fans unmatched access to the drivers and crews who powered the NHRA's thunderous 11,000 horsepower machines to their limits. Click on charlottemotorspeedway.com for tickets and information about the NHRA 4-Wide Carolina Nationals at the Bellagio of drag strips. Stay up to date and find out about local events, job opportunities, real estate information, and more. Visit liveworkplaylkn.com and sign up for the weekly newsletter. That's liveworkplaylkn.com.
Cornelius News, Heritage, and Community. We're back with About Town, hosted by Mayor Woody Washam, only on WSIC. Local starts here.
Welcome back to About Town. I'm guest host, Commissioner Robert Carney, joined by Mayor Rusty Knox. So Mayor, let's see. All right, let's recap real quick. We've talked a little bit about the fact that we are in a campaign season right now. So we should apologize, maybe not so much for Davidson, but for my Cornelius residents. Sorry about all the signs. Because they are coming. You will start seeing campaign signs. If there was a better way to get the word out, I promise we would do so. But unfortunately, we've at least as I've been told, when I first ran, my first question was exactly that. I was like, hey, can I not do campaign signs? Like, they're everywhere. Yeah. And as I was told, they're like, no, you don't have to. Campaign signs. You're not going to win, but you're not going to do them, or you don't have to do them. I was like, okay, all right, fair enough. So, sorry about apologies about the necessary evil relative to the campaign signs, but they are among us, and you will see them. And I know, Davidson, you guys have been having a lot less signs, which kudos to you on being able to pull that off. Part of that is less contested campaigns that you guys have had recently. We've talked about sales tax referendum. We always talk about economic development. Anytime I have a guest on, I have my spin. What are we missing? As I say,
I joke around. A lot of my high school friends sit back and see that I'm the mayor, and they're like, "What happened to Davidson to elect Rusty the mayor?" But the one thing that I look at, New York Times just came out with a thing recently, or some banking magazine, where Davidson was the most affluent town in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And I'm not necessarily proud of that, because for me, I want everybody that chooses to live in Davidson to have that opportunity. Corporate America moves you to Charlotte. You choose to move to Davidson.
That's right.
And that's why we started our affordable housing initiative before it was a program in 1996, when my dad was still the mayor. Mm-hmm. And shortly thereafter, the Davidson Housing Coalition was founded. And And we've prided ourselves in trying to provide some level of affordability for folks that choose to call Davidson home. Just recently, we finished a study with DFI from the School of Government identifying 7 town-owned parcels to put affordable housing on.
Sure.
And we've identified one parcel in particular that we're going to move forward on. And we realized that not all affordable housing is for sale affordable housing. Some people will never be able to afford to buy a house, even with down payment assistance. So we're looking at affordable rentals too, because those still are need-based, and we have folks that should be able to live in our hometown.
Sure.
Just at the county commission meeting Tuesday night, we've got on Beatty Street, an old apartment complex that's been there forever that's now owned by, I think it's Community Housing Partners out of Virginia. They've got locations in 3 states now. They manage about 6,800 affordable units in 3 states. They are expanding that project, and they're adding 46 new affordable apartments there.
Okay.
And they had about a $1.6 million shortfall in financing. So Davidson provided $500,000 from our affordable housing program. The city of Charlotte provided $600,000, and I was there to champion the county supplying the other $500,000, which they did.
Sure.
And for me, that moves the needle. You know, with 15,000 residents, when I know I've got 46 more affordable apartments coming to Davidson, when I know that our first project we're looking at as a town has 60 affordable rentals, that moves the needle considerably. And I will give kudos to Cornelius and Huntersville both, because you guys have stepped up the pace with affordability, and I don't look at us as the guru of this. I look at us as a front runner, which is good, but I think we lean on each other and lean into each other for support and collaboration. You know, I want to see in the future the potential for doing projects together, because affordability should, you know, our 3 towns are on an 8-mile corridor from 23 to 30. So, you know, it's still a community in and of itself.
Well, and the best example I was given is local restaurant in Cornelius had it was the manager, and we were just all talking around and you know hanging out together, and somebody made a kind of backhanded comment to the manager saying, like, I can't believe I'm paying, you know, $20 for a cheeseburger. And the manager quickly said, do you know why you're paying $20 for that cheeseburger? And there's lots of factors. I'm going to oversimplify this. He's like, the chef behind there, he's like, it lives in Statesville. He's like, and I have to get him to drive past this many other opportunities actually to be here, so that I can pay him and pay him enough to where it all makes sense. He's like, and that's why he goes, we just have a problem of being able to, you know, attract the necessary talent for a service-based industry. And then we think about our first responders, we think about our teachers, our police, fire, all
Absolutely.
we have to have available product and places for them to call home. And you want them in your community. You don't want them driving from all over.
With our area median income now, if you look at a family of 4 at 80 to 120 AMI of area median income, a family of 4 making $110,000 a year qualifies for affordable housing. So that's teachers, that's firemen, that's police officers, but that's young people that want to move to a safe community and have good schools and have opportunity and have greenways and parks for their kids for good quality of life. It's not just, I think the stigma of affordable housing, I don't like monikers, but I don't want to call it attainable housing or workforce housing or anything else. I mean, it's important to look like this project that we did the other night with Community Housing Partners. Those 46 units, 4 of those units will be reserved for people that work for the county. That will be part of the categorization besides the financial qualifications. And how cool is that? I mean, that's where you facilitate. One of the other sites we've looked at is down beside the Davidson K8, where, we could put 50 units. You've got the Pines right behind it. You've got Davidson Elementary School right beside it. You've got a wheelhouse of potential residents right there. But there's so many other opportunities, and I just think that it's so important for our 3 communities to figure out how to work in unison and in concert to achieve this.
Yeah, I agree, and I think we have to communicate a little bit better with our citizens so that they have a better grasp and understanding and can provide some direction to us on this. Because one of the things we run into is, when you're working with the development world, they're like, I'm happy to provide affordable housing. Give me more density,
right?
And I'll get you to the price you want to be,
right?
And then all of a sudden, what does that density mean? That density means negative impact on your infrastructure, on your traffic, and the community sees that, and they're like, wait a second, why are you doing this multi-story large thing, blah, blah, blah. And so we have to communicate what are we trying, what issues or items are we trying to solve whenever we do these efforts. And I think in certain ways we've certainly done a good job. I think the community has spoken out and said, hey, affordable housing is important. And now it's the formulation of how do we make sure that our efforts are impactful, and that they're actually working to, when we do these things, the community celebrates and embraces this as solving a problem as well.
And I think the incentives to developers is the key right there, because in our ordinance we say 12.5% of all development will be affordable, but you can buy your way out of it with a payment in lieu, and that payment in lieu is about $35,000. Well, you can't do anything with that $35,000. I mean, you can do down payment assistance, you can do emergency home repairs, things like that. But until you have enough payment in lieu, you can't really move that needle. But if you incent the developer and say, look, we'll give you another 10% if you'll build that 12% on the ground, and you give us 1-for-1 for COs. That's the thing, is a lot of developments provide for affordable housing or provide for commercial development, but the developers know the money is in the residential housing. They get that done first, and then they don't do the commercial, or they don't do the affordable.
Yeah,
they'll flip it to somebody else, and it never gets done. And this is where you give them an incentive, but you say, okay, well, you got to build 20 affordable units, and so for your first 20 market rate units or your first 40 market rate units, we want 1-for-2 or 1-for-1, so those units are guaranteed to be built.
See, this is enlightening for me. Because this is an area that I'm learning. I'll be honest. When it was economic development and people would say, Robbie, we got to address affordable housing, I was like, you know what my job is then? Go and recruit companies that want to pay people more.
Yeah.
I was like, and then give them an option for a better job.
Right.
I was like, and so I used to think of everything as a ladder. So my job was to provide as many ladders of opportunities for residents. If they didn't like where they were, they have the opportunity to work with the community college and get a better job or move, because there's other options for them. So I always wanted to be diversifying and increasing options for the community. But since being elected, it's not as easy as that, right? Because now we're talking about, for a vibrant community, you have to have a service-based community, and service-based communities are typically people that are earlier in their careers a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times, and younger professionals or individuals. And so you do have to have housing stock of some sort that serves that community. And this is where it's new for me. And I'm trying to find my way so learning from some of the actions and activities that you guys have taken is wonderful for me. I'm such a capitalist. I'm very much like in the, if the market does what the market does and stuff, that's wonderful to say. But whenever you're in, a community like Cornelius, like Davidson, and you're talking to that restaurant owner that's saying, I'm trying to keep a chef here so that he can work for you. I'm trying to keep servers here, and so that they'll drive past these communities, so they'll serve you and increase your quality of life. So that you have that. You have to face it. You have to look at it.
Well, and that's where public transit comes in a lot of times too, because at the end of the day, if you can pay $6 a leg to drive in the managed lanes, or you can sit in traffic. Yeah. And the people that are sitting in traffic are the people that are cooking that hamburger.
That was a beautiful way to tie that up. I really appreciate it. So Mayor, I can't thank you enough for spending some time with me today. This is wonderful. Hopefully,
thanks, Robbie.
This is good for our listeners. I'm Robert Carney, Town Commissioner for the Town of Cornelius. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with us, and we hope you have a blessed day.
Serving you better than ever before. 105.9, 100.7. WSIC, Statesville, Mooresville, North Charlotte.